Good morning. Happy Friday. It is time for just a word from the Word. This morning's passage comes from one of my most favorite books in all of Scripture, the book of Philippians, and from one of my most favorite chapters, Philippians chapter 3. I'm reading verse 10 in the King James Version. That I may know him and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his sufferings, being made conformable unto his death. There's an old, I believe it was Lanny Wolf, mass choir from Jackson College of Ministries. I want to say it's on one of their old albums. Lanny Wolf took this verse and created a whole song, but the chorus just went over and over and over in my heart this morning. And I'm going to attempt to sing it. I'm a little croaky, but oh, that I may know him. Oh, that I may know him. Oh, that I may know him, not just in the power of his resurrection, but in the fellowship of his sufferings. What a prayer. What a thing to pray. Not an easy prayer, is it? To say that we want to know God, but we want to know him in more than just the power of his resurrection. Oh, the power of his resurrection, man, that's good stuff right there. That's overcoming power. That's shouting, dancing, hooping, hollering power. That's awesome power. It's awesome to know God and the big and the boisterous and the powerful. And we should. But what about knowing him in the fellowship of his sufferings? That doesn't sound good to our ears. That hurts our hearts when we think about it. It changes our preconceived ideas of what it is to walk with the Lord. When we say that we want to know him in the fellowship of his sufferings, that means that you and I are going to suffer. But there is something in our tests, there is something in our trials that teaches us things about God that we would never know in the powerful, boisterous, big things. Oh, that I may know him, Paul said. Not just in the power of his resurrection. He wasn't negating the powerful or the big or the great. I want that. But Paul said there's a balance, and there's some things that you can only know by going through the tests and the trials. So this morning's just a word from the Word. Have you prayed, oh, that I may know him? And yet you find yourself in trials and tests? Let me encourage you on this Friday morning, February the 10th, 2023, that when you're in the midst of your test and your trials, ask the Lord to show you something new about him. Paul prayed for the Ephesians in Ephesians 1 that they would have the spirit of wisdom and revelation, that they might know God. And I'm telling you that sometimes that revelation only comes through the tests and trials of life. But don't let that stop you. In the midst of your trouble, seek to know him. In the midst of the grand, seek to know him. Because after all, knowing him is really what matters. God bless you. This has been just a word from the Word. Have an amazingly beautiful Friday. Have a fantastic weekend. And Lord willing, we'll see you Monday morning.